The truth is, the genocidal ambitions of Zionism and the BDS movement are wrecking the Israeli economy. You may have heard that the Eliab port, Israel's only port on the Red Sea, has declared bankruptcy after months of a blockade by the Houthis. But honestly, that's just the beginning of it. Since October 7th, over 46,000 businesses in Israel have gone bankrupt, and their tourism industry is basically collapsing. Huge tech companies like Samsung are pulling out of Israel, and Intel just canceled a $25 billion investment plan with them. One of the largest insurance companies in France, AXA, has now completely divested from Israeli banks and arms manufacturers like Elbit Systems. Israel's energy sector is in danger too because they rely heavily on coal imported from Colombia to meet demand, and Colombia recently just cut ties with them. And even Israeli universities aren't safe, with scientists and professors reporting a steep decline in joint research opportunities, thanks to the student encampment protests around the globe. And of course, Israelis themselves are leaving the country at record numbers. In fact, it looks like the only two parts of the Israeli economy not taking a hit are weapons manufacturing and company exits, which are just companies selling to international buyers so they can leave Israel. These are all signs that the Zionist project is starting to crumble, and even Israelis themselves are starting to see it. And all of this demonstrates the power of the boycott, divest, and sanction movement, and how important it is combating the Israeli occupation. As we all know, in this capitalist world, cash is king, so if we want change, we have to affect the money. At the end of the day, that's why the ruling class changes things. It's why the Montgomery bus boycotts were so critical in ending US segregation. It's why the global cultural, economic, and sporting boycotts against South Africa were so instrumental in dismantling South African apartheid. It's because at the end of the day, money talks. So if you made it this far in this video, what can you do to push the BDS movement further along? Well, obviously the first step is to continue to boycott any Israeli products or companies that are complicit in the Israeli occupation. And while you can and should boycott as many brands as possible that are linked to the Israeli occupation, these are the ones that you should especially focus on because they can apply the most targeted pressure. And for particularly large companies like Amazon or Google that are harder to avoid, the key is to minimize our use of them as much as possible. On a larger scale, we should all be pressuring our local communities, schools, and institutions to divest fully from Israel, because our cities and our schools should not be profiting from genocide. Every single dollar we spend is a vote for the kind of world that we want to see, so make sure that you're voting for a better one.